Well, we made it. Hello friends and fellow VEDSies, and welcome to this, the 30th day of VEDS, even though this is technically labeled the 29th day video of VEDS. Man, the worst time to fall behind is the last week of the month. Today I'm going to wrap up some stuff to do with VEDS and put this video up, and then I still haven't decided if I'm going to put my day 30 video up today or tomorrow, but that will be up at some point. But what I usually do in these videos is list off my favorite video from each fellow VEDSie, just kind of talk about the month in general. But before I can do any of that, I need to wrap up some business that came up in one of the challenges this year. Tessa gave us the 2 Truths and a Lie challenge. I will link my original 2 Truths and a Lie video down in the description, but it's time for me to reveal what the truth was, or I guess what the lie was and what the truths were and are, because none of these have changed. These all still remain truths and a lie. I need a break. And just to remind you what the options were: 1, I drove more than 2 hours to see the Margot Robbie film I, Tonya. 2, I am deathly allergic to fresh pineapple. And 3, I performed in one performance of Godspell on Broadway. Put your guesses in the Guessatron 1000 below. I was actually pretty proud of these. I, for a very brief moment, tricked even my roommate because I got a little bit sneaky with the answers. I did drive more than 2 hours to see I, Tonya. Me and my friends actually drove a lot on a lot of movie road trips to see movies that weren't showing in our college town. I, Tonya just kind of sticks out to me though because there were a lot of complications in that trip and it wasn't a very good movie. I don't regret the trip. It was a lot of fun, but it does just seem ridiculous to me now having seen the movie that I would have driven from Carbondale, Illinois to St. Louis, Missouri to watch it. And I was in one performance of Godspell on Broadway. Just not the Broadway you're thinking of. You see, there is a street in Nashville called Broadway, and on that street was the church where I performed Godspell. I actually performed several musicals there. I was also in an opera. Yeah, I did a lot at that church, which of course means the lie is about the fresh pineapple. I love pineapple so much, but my roommate, my first year of college, was allergic to pineapple, which I just always found it's such a weird thing to be allergic to, and it's one of the more memorable things about him. That's not to say he's like a really boring person just in general. It's just that that was like one of the first things I learned about him, so it's one of the first things I think of when I think about him. All right, but on to your videos. First off, Alicia, I want to say I'm so happy that you came back this year. I love your videos, and they always inspire a certain amount of self-reflectiveness. You have such a calm air about you that as you present ideas, it's very easy to think along with you and apply those ideas to my own life. I also really dug all the Doctor Who content this year. I haven't watched the show in several seasons, but seeing you talk about it has kind of started, getting me more interested in diving back in. But my favorite video that you put out has to be your Day 8 video where you talk about bad habits. It's one of the key examples of you being able to inspire self-reflectiveness, but I also think that you presented a really good entryway into thinking about that through the video, talking about the book and then bringing in your own experience and then just exploring that topic in a very concise but also deep way. And now on to Graham. Graham, I will be honest, in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's a chance Graham might do VEDS this year. And then you did VEDS and super excited about it. And it's always so cool to see you put in the work to actually be a touring musician, especially in this year, which has been so challenging for musicians and other artists and people who just rely on events as a way of making money, of expressing themselves creatively. And as I've said before, I'm really glad that your tour was able to be a success. And I thought for a while that my favorite video from you was going to be one of your hockey videos, but actually a little bit later in the month, one came out that just made me, yep, this is going to be the video. And that's your Ed Sullivan video. I think that was day 24. Of course, I remember watching your original Ed Sullivan video and hearing you explain why you like the show in that. But I think it took it to a completely new level seeing the archival work that you're doing. And it's just one of these really cool gestures that only a fan would do. It's just something that you do out of passion, and passion is something that really interests me. And now on to some of the people who didn't quite make it through the whole month, but I still wanted to highlight. Tony, I really enjoyed your 2 videos, and even though you didn't get that much out this month, I would still love to watch your videos throughout the year. I hope that you keep that up, whether it's, once every month or once every 3 months. And my friend Alex, well, he decided to do a version of VEDS. He decided to vlog every day for the last day of September. It was a really bold strategy, but I think it paid off. Of course, I only have 1 video to pick from for your favorites, Alex, so I guess it's your day 30 video. Seriously though, y'all should go watch it. It's linked down below. And now on to James. And James, I have to say, I always enjoy seeing you upload on VEDS because we came into VEDS around the same time. And so there's always a type of kinship there. On top of the fact that you have a lot of interests that are on kind of like the borders of my interest. So I might not pay attention to the things that you talk about if you didn't make videos on them, but I still find those topics very interesting. My favorite video from you was your day 9 video, which was your Fall Guys video where you just kind of riffed with some of your friends. Fall Guys is of course the game of the season and is extremely fun to play and watch. But I think you took it to the next level, just kind of picking out the best parts about this very casual game you were playing with your friends, and I think it's really funny. And now on to Jeffrey, and I have to start off by saying, wow, I am really glad that we got basically 2 VEDS out of you this year. You did VEDA earlier this year, which was a lot of fun to watch, and now of course you've done VEDS. And with every year watching you and seeing your series continue on, I grow to appreciate them even more. Your YouTube favorites is probably my favorite series you do. I think those are really interesting time capsules, but it's also really cool to see you, end musicals, start new ones when you're going through them song by song and stuff like that. But my favorite video from you this year was your day 25 video where you shared 5 important photos. And I think it's always fun seeing photos initially out of context. There is nothing that makes someone stick out more as, an individual person who has lived a full life than seeing their photos and having absolutely no context for the bizarreness that's going on. But of course, then you brought us into that context and presented the reason why you picked those photos in particular very well. And finally, Tessa. If anything good came out of COVID, it's that you started going live on Instagram each night to read Harry Potter, and that kind of spread into me meeting some of your friends and hanging out on Instagram, and then of course you coming into the D&D game that I started, and it's just been a super fun year. And it's just gonna keep getting better. I'm super excited to see what Evangeline will do next, especially when she finds out that there is a cult growing up around her. For those of you who aren't Tessa, in our D&D game, one of the other players has decided that he is going to start a religion around Tessa's character, and she ain't too happy about that. Oh, I love D&D. I love D&D so much. And of course, with all that lead up, we were talking about VEDS, discussing some ideas that we were going to have, and I was super excited to see what you had in store for us this year. I think my favorite video from you was actually yesterday's video about letters. Once again, going back to Graham's thing, it's kind of that passion thing coming through. You have a passion for letters, and so to see everything that you use when you write letters, and then just you talk about why you are interested in that, kind of the history, some of the aesthetic reasons around that, was really cool. And that's VEDS, y'all. This has been a weird year. No doubt around that. And the thing about weird year is that it kind of infects everything around it with weirdness. But VEDS is always weird, in a good way. We always come to it with 11 other months of background that we bring into the videos that we make. And we always make different but complementary videos to each other. Some of us have plans, some of us don't. Some of us make it the full 30 days, some of us fall off. And I think all of that is kind of the beauty of the community that we find each year here. I'm always grateful for when September starts and I am surrounded by a bunch of creative people who are willing to put in a lot of hard work to make this month something special. So, with that being said, friends and fellow VEDSies, have a good rest of the year.